Hey, what's up nerds? Fionn here with a guide slash commentary for the new Nero exhibition quest. This one pits you against 3 Knight class servants, and the main mechanic is that one of them is designated as the main attacker, and the others are designated as supporters, and this rotates from right to left. So from Napoleon to Fionn, from Fionn to Nero, and from Nero to Napoleon again. And what happens is that the main attacker, they get increased attack, but they're actually vulnerable to your damage. The supporters, who have that little sort of beehive defense buff, those are the ones that have very high damage and NP damage resistance, and they gain a bunch of health back every turn. But their NPs do very little damage. So as you work your way through the enemies in this fight, your goal is to make it so that when an enemy is about to NP, they're in supporter mode and not attacker mode. Now there are a bunch of things complicating this, and it makes everything just a huge pain in my ass. First of all are the break effects. So what happens is that when you break Napoleon's effect, he purges all your defense buffs. It's a defensive buffs. It's just a one-time thing, but he also gives everyone a crit chance buff, and that adds a lot of RNG to this fight. This fight in general, very RNG intensive, and it's incredibly annoying. I sort of cheese it by running poster girl characters just take hits for me, but in a normal run, this is going to be a huge problem for you. As for Fionn, what happens is that when you break his bar, he has a chance, or rather, he gives everyone evasion that has a chance to proc once every turn. So what happens is that when you attack him, it just rolls to see if you hit him or not. And if you miss, the buff goes away. But the thing is, it's not consistent because it's like a chance-based buff. So you'll have to try your hands in a lot of different ways, and it'll probably involve a fair bit of scumming once that effect starts proccing. And that effect goes on to his allies, not himself. Just to be clear, you'll see it in action in a bit. As for Nero, her break effect is that she just burns on hit. Or rather, everyone burns on hit. It's not a big deal. It's like a 300 damage buff, or rather 300 damage debuff. But late into the fight, when you're at super low health or when your guts pops, it can be a problem. But in general, Nero is the least threatening of the three, unless she's the attacker and she's going to NP you. You may have noticed that what I did in this is that I went straight onto Nero and popped her bar. You can do that. Generally speaking, you want to rotate normally so that they don't have like weird... Oh, hold on a second. What the heck? Oh, I scummed it. What? Oh, that's right. Okay, so one thing that really makes this fight annoying as hell, on top of everything else, is that all 3 of these servants are charge accelerators. Napoleon is selfish. Well, actually, I think Napoleon does it for the whole team, doesn't he? Hold on, let me check. Okay, no, never mind. Napoleon's is selfish. So Napoleon has a selfish self-charge, Fionn does the whole team, and Nero does a single ally. And this can actually make progressing through the fight very difficult. You may need to stop your DPS, depending on what kind of team you're running, because you don't want to, like, break a bar and then switch someone into being the main attacker, only to have them get charged up in NPU. It's really obnoxious. And probably the one the most likely to do it is Napoleon. So you should be careful about when you let him be the main attacker. So here I got jebaited into using Illusion, because I scummed it and popped Illusion, expecting them to self-charge again, but they don't that time. And they wait a turn, which means I just eat an NP. Yeah, thankfully Napoleon is not set as the main attacker, which means I do take a bunch of damage, because, you know, Noki is a berserker, but it's not like a life-threatening amount of damage. However, I do have to worry about another pair of NPs. So here, what I do is I pop Kintoki's heal, both for the heal and because it reduces the odds of me getting the attack down from Finn's NP. I believe here I decide to use the invuln, just to make sure that Kintoki doesn't get chipped down too hard. Again, Scotty's pretty much dead. She has poster girl, she has a couple of burns on her and like half health. Do I use the invuln here? Okay, apparently I don't. I decide to go on to Fionn. Fionn is set in supporter mode, and that's another, yet another layer to the annoyance of this fight, which is that Fionn can taunt while he's a supporter. And this is a huge problem because he will just stop you from progressing the fight. He'll absorb your attacks. He has his fucking evade. It's a real nuisance. One thing you can do to try and make this fight less painful is to try and pop Fionn as late as possible. Again, that has its own complications because the flow of the fight was clearly meant to have you go from, you know, right to middle to left. But the longer you wait before you trigger Finn's evasion, like, ability, the less of a headache you have doing this fight. Yeah, so I scum it and decide to go for a Merlin chain instead. Saves me a lot of trouble, builds some resources. It means I just have to wait a turn to go into Nero Bride. Now, there are alternate ways of doing this fight. One of the things you can do is to run, like, huge dick attackers like Arjuna Altar. Because Arjuna Altar, if you set up your opening hand right, can actually blow up Napoleon's first bar and break Nero's with face cards on the same turn if you target Nero and use your NP Brave Chain. It is doable, it speeds up the fight a lot, and, I mean, again, you have to deal with RNG, but one of the benefits is that Fionn doesn't get popped straight away, so you have the ability to finish off Nero and Napoleon before Fionn becomes an issue. That's one thing you can do. Another thing, I think I saw Rio Emerald do a run with Musashi Berserker. Musashi Berserker actually quite good for this fight because she has Invuln Pierce. She has Invuln Pierce and she's an arts attacker, which means that she can actually DPS everyone consistently over the course of the fight, even with their heals and resistances. And even if Fionn taunts, what you could do is you can... Oh yeah, I scum here because I got burned, but yeah. So even if Fionn taunts, Musashi can hit everyone else, and even with their evade up, which is very convenient. Something you should consider if you can run such a team. So I scum here because I realized that if Kintoki gets popped and burned on this turn, I'm fucked. So I decide to just fish for a clean kill on Nero. It doesn't work out. I scummed it once. I missed that time, so I scum it again. Yeah, this fight fucking sucks. Dude, I had the cleanest run on stream. It was beautiful. Unfortunately, I can't put it up on YouTube, A, because of, you know, the Twitch waiting period, and because it had, like, copyrighted music playing in the background, so I can't use that audio anyway. Real shame. It was a very nice run. And I scum it again! That time, I target Fionn for some insane reason, and I don't know why it went back to Fionn. Maybe I tapped him at some point? Who knows? But yes, this time I target the right servant, and... Yes, the hit goes on to Nero. Excellent. Pop a little bit of extra damage, just to make sure I get the kill. Again, getting clean kills, like clean one-turn kills against each of the bars is a huge help in this fight. The longer you take, the more complicated things become. And you really, really, really want to make it so that Fionn cannot sort of throw you out of whack like he is right now. You see, he has his taunt evade combo up. And even this late into the fight, it's a huge hassle. Honestly, I think I may have made a mistake in how I went about this fight. I should have just dealt with the Fionn evade. I tried to, like, pop Nero prematurely, because Kintoki can do that with the right hand. Like, at least her first bar. And that sort of made it so that the Fionn stayed way later into the fight than I normally prefer. You can actually leave Nero Bride for last, because she is the least threatening in isolation. Really, she's a threat to your party once they're already worn down from fighting Napoleon and Fionn for so long. Napoleon, I think, is who you should really be trying to kill, just as quickly as possible. Because he has an Invuln Pierce baked in. Well, it's not baked into his NP, but it is, it's a skill he can use, and it's multi-turn. And his NP ignores defense by default. And here I let it go because I think either there's nothing I can do, or it's the sort of fight where I think I can finish it. And with just mashing Kintoki, I have a pretty good chance of getting good Kintoki cards. Now I just need good evade RNG. That's very, very messy. Okay, off for the Golden Start. Golden Start? Golden Spark Starter. And it goes through, excellent. So now it's just Fionn on the field. Because I cleansed off the burn, Kintoki can pretty much last for at least 2 more turns and fight a third. Because Mash is gonna block the first set of hits, and she can invuln him on this turn. But I have a Brave Chain, actually, yeah. I have a Brave Chain. Should be fine. Is there anything I missed? I think I covered all the mechanics. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. But yeah, this fight, it's pretty rough. It's pretty fucking rough. Aside from maybe like the Romulus one, I'd say it's my least favorite of the new set. We'll have to see, we'll have to see. I don't remember the Achilles one terribly well. That one might be a huge pain. The others, though, they have their annoyances, but they won't be quite as bad as this, in my opinion. Up until Romulus. So with that said, I hope you found this commentary useful. If you did, like, subscribe for more, and yeah, come watch me on Twitch, where I stream every weekend, 3 p.m. Pacific time, Friday through Sunday. That said, good luck farming, good luck with the exhibition quests, and I'll see you next time.